The night she left, and the silence that stayed. I stayed quiet. That was the hardest part. Not screaming. Not asking why. Not begging her to stay. Just silence. I remember the night she told me everything. Clear as day. Her eyes didn't feel familiar anymore. They carried guilt, sure, but behind that, something colder. Like she'd left me days ago and was only now giving me the memo my heart wasn't ready to read. It just happened, she said. No emotion. No apology. As if betrayal was a stumble, an accident. Like falling into someone else's arms was something that just happens. I didn't speak. Didn't flinch. Didn't cry. Not in front of her. I simply looked at her like I didn't know who she was. Because in that moment I didn't. The woman I loved, the one I pictured forever with, she was gone. She died the second she destroyed everything we built. Still, she kept talking, trying to fill the silence with excuses. I was confused. I didn't mean for it to go that far. He made me feel seen. But none of it mattered. 'Cause I saw her too. Every single day. Through every storm, every doubt, every breakdown, I stayed. I loved her through it all. But she chose him. What hurt the most wasn't even the affair itself. It was how easily she let go. Like everything we shared meant nothing. Like I was just a story she regretted writing. Then she asked the question that twisted the knife. Can we still be friends? I finally looked her in the eye and gave her the only truth I had left. I hope he was worth it. Then I walked out. No revenge. No dramatic ending. Just silence. The silence lingered. For months. People describe heartbreak like it's loud. Tears, screaming, slammed doors. But the real pain, it's quiet. It's sitting alone in your room, wondering if you were ever enough. If the I love yous meant anything. If you missed the signs. Or just ignored them because love makes you blind. And stupid. I didn't block her. Didn't delete her number. But I never reached out. Not once. And she didn't either. That said everything I needed to know. So I moved on. Got a new job. Started working out again. First it was just something to keep my mind busy. But slowly it became real. Healing in its own messy way. Not fast. Not perfect. But honest. It came in quiet mornings. In lonely nights. In writing thoughts down I never said out loud. In long walks with no music. In standing in front of the mirror and whispering, "You'll be okay." Exactly 1 year later, there was a knock on my door. Sunday afternoon. Peaceful. I wasn't expecting anyone. I opened the door, and there she was. Hair tied back. Eyes swollen. Skin pale. And in her hands, a wedding dress. For a moment I thought I was hallucinating. But no, it was her. She stood trembling, her voice barely a whisper. I couldn't do it. She stepped inside without asking and held the dress out in front of her like it weighed 1,000 pounds. I was supposed to get married today, she said, eyes fixed on the floor. He's still waiting at the altar. But I couldn't walk down the aisle. I just watched. Son. Speechless. She sat on the edge of the couch, still clinging to that white dress, and broke down. Tears. Words tumbling out between gasps. I kept telling myself I loved him. That he was what I needed. But I was just running from what I lost. Her voice cracked again. I lost you. And I deserved to. But I never stopped thinking about you. I couldn't breathe. I hadn't seen her in a year, and now she was back. Not standing tall but collapsing. She told me how she tried to force love. How she tried to forget the guilt. Tried to start over like it would erase the damage. But some ghosts stay. And I was hers. I wanted to be cold. Wanted to tell her to leave. Wanted to remind her of all the nights I bled in silence. Nights I wished I could hate her, but never could. But I didn't. I just sat there frozen. She asked me, "Do you hate me?" I looked at her and told her the truth. "No, I don't hate you. I just learned to live without you. And that's what scares me now." She nodded slowly, wiping her tears with her sleeve. "I don't expect you to take me back. I just needed you to know. I ruined the only real thing in my life. We sat there, surrounded by a silence that held too many words we couldn't say. Eventually she stood up, folded the dress, placed it gently on the table like it was her last apology. Then she said goodbye. A real one this time. No empty promises. No second chances. Just the truth. And when she walked out the door again, it didn't break me. Didn't destroy me. Because I wasn't the man who needed her to stay to feel whole anymore. That night I sat alone. Same couch. Same quiet apartment. I looked at the dress. Not as a symbol of what we could have been, but of everything I survived. She came back. Not for love. Not for a do-over. She came back because regret always looks for a place to go. And for a while I was that place. But not anymore. I've built something since then. Quiet strength. A life where peace isn't borrowed from someone else. I don't know where she is now. I don't know if she ever wore that dress for someone else. And honestly, I don't need to know. Because I stayed silent when it shattered me. And that silence became my shield. My healing. She returned with tears and a wedding dress. But I had already learned the most painful, powerful truth of all. Some apologies come too late. And sometimes you really don't go back.